bunny girl figures is they're either great or they suck.
Yeah.
Same way.
And they're also usually always stupid expensive.
Oh, well, they're fucking this big.
Yeah.
That's why I'll never get one.
Or
It's
they
just
have,
because
like,
they're
the
so
leggings and-
fucking big.
Well,
And
the
then I'm
one
just
I
like, I
got-
don't even
well,
know.
Maybe it's because it's actually from the show, that outfit.
Yeah.
That she's
Well,
like,
so that's the
smaller.
thing of
Then they'll have like the stockings that are actually fabric. And
But then if
Yeah.
you don't get it on the first pre-order, they only sell bare leg bunnies after that. They get lazy and you can't get it. So those
Really?
you have to pre-order to get it. Yeah.
If you want the stocking.
Yeah, unless they have too much of stock, then
Right,
obviously you
right,
can get
right.
them. But like if they don't, then you'll have to get a bare leg. So, but the thing that sucks about those is they're either great and the style is like personalized to them, which
Right.
makes it extra cool, or it's just a fucking.
it was like moving like.
Oh.
Or it's just a
So
basic
I was
plain.
testing
It's just
if it
a
was doing
plain,
that.
yeah. So, what's it called? Maureen just got one, Kitagawa, and
I'm just
it's
waiting
just
for like a regular good figure.
well.
for-
So there's well,
Yeah, they're
she's
all
in a
also-
bikini.
yeah, they're also
but that one
pre-orders.
is such a good fucking figure, though. I was tempted to get it, but because she was in a bikini.
Did you
in
finally
the
watch
beginning.
Dress Up Darling?
I watched it when it came
Oh,
out.
did you? Why have we
Yeah.
never talked about it?
I don't know.
Great show.
Oh, wait,
She
is it
didn't
my
watch
pick?
it.
Is it my pick?
Yeah.
Yes.
Damn it.
But so they came
Because
out.
now we're
with
just in a
one.
rotation. It's
Yeah.
now actually a circle.
They came out with hers and it's boring as hell, and apparently in the manga she has like a canon bunny girl outfit. It's like blue or something, and they didn't make it that. They just gave her a fucking plain one with a red tie, and everyone's like, her fucking tie is clashing with her hair. Like, why did they decide to do this? And so I don't know. So there's just things like that. And then so Shirai and Satin were also, they were just plain ones where obviously Shirai has her lingerie and like they could have done, I don't know. So
Shirai is Shirai. Hi, welcome to the Vaguely Anime Podcast. I am one of the hosts this evening, Michael, followed by other host, Kat,
hi.
and other host, Sage.
What's up?
You know, it's just occurred to me that I say this evening, even though this goes out at 12 in the afternoon.
I noticed that like a really long time ago, but I was
You
like,
just
you know,
never
whatever
said
makes him
anything?
happy. It's fine.
I never really thought about it until right now, where I was like, "This goes out in the
I
afternoon."
mean, they're also joining us a month later.
yeah, we're filming it at the evening,
Yeah.
which I guess is why. But
In the past.
Yeah.
Ooh.
anyway, welcome to Anime Club. It's my pick, which was the Certain Scientific Railgun Season 2. And I really like it. And so,
Good job.
well, I don't have to. I was gonna summarize it. and I
Yeah,
was like,
aren't you gonna give
yeah.
a little?
As like a little summary, basically, if you watched season 1, like, you know what the show's kind of about. Season 2 basically dives like way more into like the shady shit of the city itself, and it becomes a bit more gruesome too as it goes into it, and it basically just kind of becomes like just exposing how fucked up science can be when it's unchecked, and Misaka goes about like trying to stop that, and that's basically the general synopsis. And I guess I don't know how much non-spoiler stuff we have about the show, but you know, we can do our little
I was gonna say, I feel like
non-spoiler thing.
it's hard to do non-spoilers.
Just like general thoughts, what you thought about it, if
Yeah.
you would recommend.
I feel like it's just a
whatever.
little bit harder because it's the season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, but go ahead.
I feel okay. So general for season 2, the first 2/3 I really, really enjoyed, and then the last third, it kind of like it wasn't particularly bad, but just in terms of the storytelling quality, it wasn't as strong as the first 2/3 of the season. I watched it subbed instead of dubbed this time.
Interesting.
I actually like the subbed voices much better, especially for Shirai. Her voice in the sub, like, it's still that like slightly shrill but more palatable, if that makes sense. It's like less grating.
Yeah.
Other than that, like, that's the most like general I can give.
Yeah. I disagree. I liked the last little arc, but I like kids. You don't like kids, so I'm sure that gave you nothing, that you were just like, I don't care, this is boring, and
It's not so
whatever.
much is because I don't like kids that I thought it was boring. I just feel like, I don't know, there was something about it where I felt like, can we get into spoilers so that I can make my point?
We'll come back.
Okay.
But I actually I don't know if I would go as far to say as the last part was the best, but like I felt like the first arc kind of just droned on. Like I felt like it just took too long, and then I'm like, okay, I get this, like, all right. So because that little last arc was so short, that I felt like it was, I don't know, but I wouldn't say better because the content wasn't more interesting, but like I liked the pacing of it better. At first I was bored and I was like, oh, it's just gonna be a bunch of whatever when they're eating like their hot pot and
Right.
all of that. But then when it actually got into it, I was like, oh, okay, I actually do like this. But for the earlier part, to be honest, I can't even remember what happened in season 1. Like, we just watched that like how many months ago, and
3 months ago,
and I can't even tell you what happened in that. So like I'm trying to think of how I feel about
like
this
season 1 didn't
then.
have like, this season had a lot more like overarching.
I know, but I can't even remember what the fuck happened in the first one
I don't
to
know
compare
either.
it to be like, did I like this better?
It had the level upper and the which was like using everybody's consciousness to make that fucking
that much
baby
drama.
thing?
Maybe it was good
Yeah.
that I forgot about it. Now I have it again. It sucks.
And fighting against the person using the children, the friends of.
Yes. I don't think I liked this season more than the last one. I think I feel the same about it. Of like, it has its moments, but it also can bore me. Like, I thought it was interesting that it went like deeper into like the problems of the city and everything like that, but I just don't think there was enough grab to it, that it was just like it didn't feel like there was, I don't know, it didn't feel like there was enough consequences, I guess. But it's kind of like, I feel like Makoto's kind of just, she's broken, so like she's one of those main characters that it doesn't matter what it is, like she's gonna beat it. And then every time I'm like, oh, I know all of her powers, then she can do this little extra thing with her powers that like gets her through it, like, which I can go into when we go into spoilers. But like, so I just felt like there wasn't, I don't know, she wasn't getting her ass kicked enough, that it was like, I don't know.
The entire
not
first
enough?
half is her getting her ass kicked.
No.
This bitch is on like the brink of death.
Like multiple times.
How much more do you want her ass to be kicked?
She wants to lose a limb.
We'll go into it in spoilers. I'm purposely not saying why I think so, but I'm just.
I just don't even know how you can.
I'll go into it. Go, your turn.
I think the first two thirds are the strongest part of this season, with everything going on in that first arc, and I think that at the end of the arc, the second arc is much shorter, but I think that it meanders a bit in the beginning of it, that it feels like the pacing just halts, and you're like, all right, we just had this really big high of that first arc, and it's
that's why I was like
over.
bored when they were doing that. I was like, are these last episodes literally just them
like
hanging
slice of
out?
life?
Yeah, where you're just
because
like,
they did that in the last season. I
Yeah.
remember that all of a sudden it was just like, oh, we're just in a slice of life. Like, that's.
I feel like maybe part of why they did is because it was like Mike is saying, this like extreme like hype ending to that first arc, and then they're like, all right, I feel like they probably were like, let's take like a second to chill out.
Yeah.
And then we'll like get back into
or
it.
maybe they were trying to like give a false sense of security that they think
They used up all their budget.
maybe. But to be like, oh, everything's good now, everything's fixed, just
Right.
to like add that added effect of, oh wait, no, it's not. There's still even more that goes on. Maybe that's what the effect they were trying to go for was. I don't know, but I did think that was paced weird. But when it actually got into it, then I liked it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think that like once it kind of actually kicks off, it's fun and like the ending is really cool. It's very anime, but it's cool. And I really like the OPs. So anytime the OP tracks hit during the episodes, you're like, fuck yeah, this is about to be rad. But overall, yeah, I think the first part, like first 2/3, are much stronger, and it leads to a lot of like, it has really good comedy in it. It like has a lot of suspense and like gets really brutal basically out of nowhere compared to the first two arcs of the show.
Yeah.
And I think that like the consequences from it carry on, and you just see a lot of what happens continuously afterwards, which is really interesting. And yeah, I guess that's the general. We can just go to spoilers. Hey, spoilers from here on out. Okay, so how the fuck do you think she's not getting her ass kicked all the time?
Because it wasn't like just specifically her. Like, obviously the sisters were dying and stuff.
Also her.
She didn't die.
No, but she's like getting...
She wasn't even close. What's his face got closer to fucking death than she did.
She almost died to the people with the girl with the rockets, like multiple times.
I'm talking about Accelerator or whatever.
Right.
The fuck. Yeah, that's his
but
name,
she
right?
fights them on the way to Accelerator. And
I know,
she gets her
but,
ass
like...
kicked a lot on the way.
Yeah,
to
wait,
doing
didn't
that.
she already like run out of power at that point? The first time she was trying to fight him.
At the first time she's trying to fight him, she gets cut off by the sisters, saying, "Hey, you're gonna mess with this. You can't do it."
Right.
But she was also tired already.
Right.
What's his name? Not Accelerator. The other guy.
Oh, the guy she has a crush on?
Yeah.
Toma.
Like him, I thought that like I think he's the best part of the show, and obviously it's not even his fucking
Yeah, he
season.
has his own
yeah,
show.
Exactly.
That they also tell this exact arc in.
Yeah.
It's just from his point of view more.
So maybe I'd like that better because I liked his part better.
I think
like,
this one does it better, actually.
Oh, yeah?
And I like Magical Index. Because you're more connected to Misaka via watching her show, I think it's much more investing to watch it from her point of view than it is from his, because he just kind of comes into it.
He's like a third
he
party.
Just like stumbles into
like,
it.
you see him interacting with the clones and everything, because you see that partially in Railgun too.
Is it literally the
like,
same scenes?
No,
they just copy and paste it.
No, because they also came out at different times, so they are slightly different. But I think Railgun does a more interesting version of it.
I don't know. Like I just feel like there's always something extra she could do with her powers that just gives her that like
leg up.
Yeah, that it's like too.
I don't know.
That was like kind of my problem with My Hero once they added on the other stuff. That it was like, I don't know. I don't like when it's like there's too much and it's not even like they're really working for it. All of a sudden she just can do something more. Like, and so I don't know.
I mean, I feel like it's not like she can. It's just using her powers in different ways. Like she starts controlling the puppets because she just put metal dust into them.
But I feel like I'd like it better if there was like learning to it versus she just does it all of a sudden.
What is she doing that she couldn't already do before, and now she's just doing it in a different way? Like, she can control metal dust, so she puts it into the dolls to control them.
When the fuck did she have time to like do that?
It's anime.
When she was running away and she finds the first doll, she's like, I have a plan.
But you put it in it. Like, how much time was it? How much time
you
was
see
it
how much she can just summon? She just spawns a bunch and puts it in.
I'm just saying, like, it just...
No, I feel like I kind of get what you're saying, but at the same time, for me, the way that they were using her powers, like, kind of reminded me of Avatar in that, like, yeah, like, you have earthbending, but you can do a lot of different stuff within that. Mm-hmm. And, like, with, like, sand and mud and blah, 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 and, like, metal bending. So I felt like it gave me that.
At least when they do that, there's that sense of figuring it out.
Right,
Like,
but the
they have
difference is,
that.
I feel like
Well, I think
the
she already
only-
has figured it out.
Yeah, I was
Well,
gonna say
where's
for the-
that? That's
before the show even
But
started.
that's what should be like show.
But that's what I'm gonna say is because I feel like where this show can kind of have its excuse is that when we meet Misaka in season 1, she's already a level 5, and
She's the third ranked level 5.
right,
I know,
but
but-
she's so it's already like you can just infer that like she has a certain understanding of her own power, her limitations, and what she can do like within that power to
I
like
feel
Like she
like
goes to
they-
fight Tomura in the first season and just whips out the iron sand immediately to fucking cut him in half. And you're like,
But I feel like they just I don't know. I feel like for so much time besides like doing that, a lot, and she did the walking on the walls, but a lot
Yeah.
of it is like her coin thing, right? The actual railgun. They do so much that
well because in season 1 we get nothing of her.
No, I know, but like
So I think that's the fault of season 1.
You get the
Yes,
small
I
amounts
mean-
that she can use her power to hack into things. You get the small,
Yeah.
and then now like in season 2, it's basically put to an extreme because she's so like pissed that she's now just using her full power. Where you were seeing the
guess.
small
I don't
amounts,
know.
and now it's like,
I
all
feel
right,
like-
I can just hack into
Because in
all these
season 1,
facilities. and
it
destroy
felt like
them.
she didn't really even
More.
try. She was just like,
Yeah.
yeah, I know I can fuck shit up if I want to.
Yeah.
And this season, she was like, I am trying because I want to make sure everything burns.
I just feel like I needed more than just like all of a sudden she could.
but she's
Or
still
even when she
also
was, like,
always on the back
when
foot.
she was injected with this stuff and then she's like, just kidding, can still use my body, I'm just gonna have to put all this electricity and stuff like that. Like, it wasn't about figuring it out. Like, she just
Well, no, she did have to figure that out because you saw her on the ground and then like you
but
see the
the-
fingers start twitching.
the way, I don't know, I just don't
It's
like
too
the way.
fast?
Yeah, like I just don't like this show has so much fucking time and I feel like they don't use it well. Like, I guess
I don't know.
that's
I think,
more my issue.
I think the first 2/3 are paced phenomenally well.
I don't know.
My only true gripe is that, especially towards the beginning, Misaka is a complete idiot, and when they're first the episode where it's like all the clones are of her, right? They're so heavy-handed with I heard about these cloning experiments. Oh, did you hear they cloned a level 5? I just
Yeah.
heard it was a rumor. I'm like, yeah, obviously it's her. Like,
Yeah.
there's no like.
Well, the funny part about it is like that's supposed to have been happening all the time in her life, and she just always wrote it off. Like, why the fuck would that ever be a thing?
Right.
And then like it finally clicks for her, and it's just like the most obvious shit on the planet, and she's like, oh fuck.
But that's what I mean. Like, I don't know
Like,
why.
there's no way nobody ever didn't see other Misakas, which is why it's like clearly kind of always been a thing in the
I don't even get how
background.
they don't even see that. There's still, what, 10,000 of them left? All in one city. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like you'd see one over there.
All right, so
but
for the
over there
most
at the
part,
same time.
For the most part, they're supposed to only be out one at a time, except for the cleanup.
Mm-hmm.
And then besides that, they're always in a facility. So you would only ever really see like the one that's about to go get killed in like 5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I mean afterwards, like when they were,
Yeah, when they go to clean up and then leave.
there's always just one kind of just about, just
Yeah.
like lurking around.
Well, because I think it's like, hey, it's your day, so now you're just
Yeah.
that one's dead, so
Also-
you just get to be around and be free for the day.
Okay, wait. So I don't know if this is a confusion or if I know what's, but so they all have this shared memory, right?
Yes.
Right.
So Misaka's whole problem with them is that they're people too, they shouldn't die, everything like that. They don't think it's kind of creepy that they all just have the same memory, so whenever you deal with one, you're dealing with all of them, and it could be any of them. Like,
Yeah, so they all know you, but
I
like,
know, but like I felt so disconnected from that. Like when I was thinking about it myself, like I thought their interactions together were cute. Like I always thought they were like funny
it's like
and everything.
immediately sister rivalry.
Yeah,
like immediately.
I don't get me wrong. Like I did like that, and I did like that when they're fighting over the Gekida. Like I like all of that. That's not the problem. I just felt like I couldn't connect to actually caring about them being alive because they all share the same memory that they all just like.
But yes, they all share the same memory, but
They are still all their own person.
yeah,
I know, but
and
like,
it's,
it's
I
just
think
weird
it's
to me.
I think it's a thing of like And I was thinking about this when we first started getting into the whole clones thing. I was like, first of all, you guys are fucking idiots for making human clones. Just make them all computers. Why would you make
like
them
robots?
Yeah, why
Okay.
would you not make them robots? First of all, you're just asking for a catastrophe. Cuz the second, even like before the lady scientist like gave them like
Shinobu,
yeah, before she like inserted like emotions into them or
which
like
she didn't think worked.
right.
Yeah.
But like because before she does that, that's when she has the experience of like on the rooftop and like the one Misaka clone is like, isn't this so like splendid, the sunset, blah blah blah, bullshit. And she's like, oh wait, they're actually people. So like at some point, regardless of how like much programming you give them of like feeding their brain information, because you made them humans, that was mistake number one. They're eventually going to develop. That's just what
like,
happens.
Like the sister that she gets the Gekuda, she gives the Gekuda pin for, and then makes fun of Misaka for having such a childish thing. And she's like, "Fine, give it back." And they have
And
the
then
cat
they're,
fight
like,
about
fighting
it.
over
and she's
it.
like, "Why won't you give it back to me?" It's like, "It's the first gift I ever got from you, from my like
Right.
big sister." Which, by the way, great moment.
Yeah.
But like the next one acknowledges that happened, but
she knows it
that
didn't
one-
happen
but it-
to her.
yeah,
that
she-
one dies, right?
Yeah, the one that she gave the pin to
Yes.
dies. She's the last one that dies. The next one almost dies but lives.
Okay, yeah.
And they like the next one acknowledges that happened, but doesn't have the same interaction with her. And she says that too. She's like, "I'm not the one you talk to. That's not me. I know what you did, but that's not me."
But I just don't.
And then they bond over the cat.
I guess, but I just don't. I guess also because there's so many of them, it's kind of hard to like.
You really only connect with like the one that lives at the end. The one,
yeah.
I mean,
whatever
I
number
think-
her
the one that
age
has the
is.
cat. Like
I
that's
think
the
it
one.
would. I think they did it in the right way of like having like essentially like a clone spokesperson
Yeah.
of like the primary one that she's gonna talk to and like connect with. Because if you're trying to have that with all 9,000 of them, like it's just too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong. After the like experiment goes under and it gets exposed or whatever, I don't even know if it gets exposed, but after it goes under, do they send some of the girls to like a facility outside of the city?
No.
Okay. For
They
some
all stay.
reason,
They all stay within the city with the Gekuda doctor helping them.
oh yes, you're right. For some reason I thought they were outside of the
Yeah,
city.
he becomes like a main background character of constantly helping because he
Right.
knows how to like help fix the problems usually.
Right.
Did he actually? Well, there's a season 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it goes over then. But he didn't actually figure out yet. He was just gonna do testing on how to make them live past the 2 years or whatever, right?
Yeah, he basically said, "Hey, they have a time limit," and then when she finally wins, he's like, "But that doesn't mean we're not going to figure out a way to."
But there wasn't
Pass
actually a conclusion to
No,
that.
no, no. He
Okay.
just said that their goal is to maybe
that
not.
it?
But
yeah,
Is that
not.
in season
he
3?
didn't say that.
No, they say he says it in season 2 where he's like, "That's the."
No, I know, but does it come back up in season 3
Oh,
being
I
like
think-
success? We
Oh
did
no,
do
I think
it?
they're always. He's always trying to do it.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't think it's just like we figured it out. I think it's always like he's working on it because.
Yeah,
But I think it's also like they're never going to live a full life. It's just a longer life.
I know, but I don't know. And then also that she did all this, and then he tells her, and she's like upset for 5 seconds, and then she's like, "All right, moving on with my life." Like,
Well, that's because he tells her that they'll only live like a year or two, and then when she
And then
starts getting upset, that's when
immediately-
he's like, "Well, we notice X, Y, and Z within their blah blah blah, and we're gonna try and like rebalance it out."
But, like,
she has, but because he never says like this will tack on like 5 years or whatever. He's like, this will just help like them to
Yeah.
live a more full life. So I think that like kind of vague ambition and hope, she's like, all right, I guess that's better than them dying in a year.
yeah, I kind of just wish they didn't even like add
Bring that up,
part,
yeah.
especially because it doesn't come up in season 3 to be like success. We
At least
did
that
do it.
I remember. I think it's always in the background that he is working on it, and they talk about how the
I kinda-
progress is going. But it's just like it's not a thing that they just figure out.
Yeah, I kind of wish they left that out because it just feels like she put in all this effort to like do this, and then it's like, oh, they'll die in 2 years. That sucks. So I kind of wish, I don't know, because then I just felt like I had attachment issues to them, like besides the main like spokes one that has the cat.
I mean, I don't know.
For like all the other sisters.
I pretty much was all in. Like I'm like, all right, I'm invested in how they're doing, and it's like, and then when he's like, they're only gonna live about 2 years, I'm like, in my mind, from the amount of like random clone media I've absorbed through my life, I'm like, yeah, time limits on clones makes sense.
And then you're like, okay.
But then he's like, but we're gonna try to figure it out. And I'm like, I like that because the doctor is supposed to be like the one scientist for good, basically.
But I guess like, I just feel like it doesn't add anything that they shouldn't have done it. Like if it would come back up later, then I understand. So,
well,
like,
I mean,
don't know.
Didn't they set up like you mean you just wish they never even brought up that they were ever gonna die?
Yes, that they're just
if they left it ambiguous.
Yeah. Like,
but didn't they immediately like when they said that they accelerated their growth that it did put a time limit on them? That's why. Like, wasn't that like very early on that they're like the accelerated time?
I only remember when the doctor
I'm
said
pretty
it.
sure because they bring up that
maybe Shinobu said it like when they were going over
because like they accelerate the growth so much that it causes them to have a shorter lifespan. I think was the problem.
No, but
I
thought,
which is why they couldn't train.
They would
them.
be like old ladies, like living a whole. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what I like. Figured not.
No,
really.
I think it's just because they become unstable. But I think I think they mentioned it earlier on because that's why they had to make so many and then have them go through the connected network to train for Accelerator is because they couldn't have like a handful of Misukas train and then get stronger and then fight him. It was like, you guys have a time limit. We just need a bunch of you to send at him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I thought at first it was more of a when they first come out of their like incubators or whatever you want to call them, like they first ran into the problem of
they weren't a level 5.
They weren't a level 5 and they couldn't get them to be a level 5.
And they were baby minded.
Right. And then when they were coming out, because you're essentially just like fast moding human growth with no like brain development, that they just come out as like long babies.
Long babies.
I feel like that's an accurate description.
Big babies.
Long babies.
All adult people are long babies.
Yeah. So they come out as long babies. So they're like, okay, that's another problem. So then they create the network. And because at first wasn't the whole point of the experiment to be like, we can just make a whole like army of level 5s.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Originally it was a whole army of level 5s.
And then when they were like, all right, they're coming out as like janky ass
that's
level
when they
2s
shut down the original
right,
program.
They're coming out as janky ass level 2s and 3s. So instead we'll just use them as like meat bags.
Yeah, for a level 6 shift.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which, does he get to level 6? I was a little confused about that.
So he doesn't actually, he was just saying he did?
No. Because
he was creating like a whole fucking universe there.
He started using the vectors to basically make like a black hole or whatever the fuck. And I think it was a whole point of like he's finally understanding something, but like it starts falling apart on him. That like, but like
right away,
like in a way that like I guess you could describe it as like he's climbing the hill and like all of a sudden he's kind of sprinting up the hill and then it turns out
a boulder smushes him,
and then it just fails. And then because of everything, he gets severely injured, and from then on cannot use his power as well.
He is the main character in a different one, right?
Of Accelerator, a certain scientific accelerator.
Okay. Is he bad in that? Is it the same thing?
Do you want me to say?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, for anyone that plans on watching a certain scientific accelerator, spoilers for that. I'll put a little time skip, I guess. I'll have to actually pay attention while I'm editing.
You might want to do that anyways, but sure.
All right. So, do you care? I don't know if you plan on watching it.
No. Okay. Say what you need.
So, scientific accelerator, basically, so he gets injured.
Is that, which is the first, like, where they were, like, made? Like,
Accelerator's the most... it's not the most recent, but it's one of the most recent.
So Magical Index was first.
Then
Railgun and then Accelerator,
okay.
right?
And Accelerator only has one season and it's 12 episodes.
Okay. And does it cover the same arc?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's after this.
After.
So I don't remember exactly where it happens. I don't remember if he gets injured because of this event or he gets injured after. I don't remember exactly. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, him using all of that energy to make that like plasma ball, and then when he gets like hit, it fucks him up. it basically fucks up his body, and he can no longer like use his power without help. And so he basically ends up with the Frog Doctor, and
Always the Frog Doctor.
pretty much, and is like, "Hey, your shit's fucked, dude."
Dr. Frog.
Yeah, and he basically, in order to use his powers, he has like a necklace that he has to like activate, and it lets him use his power for a short amount of time, basically like 5 minutes or something, which is connected to the Misika network.
So did they? Wait, why?
So he's basically like permanently crippled, like he walks around with a cane and everything. So basically, there's the last Misika that they made is called.
Wait, question.
Yeah.
Is he fucked up specifically because of what's his face's hand thing?
No,
that he does?
it was basically because he overstressed his powers and then got fucked up.
I wasn't sure if it was his hand thing.
I think again, if it's from this event, it's because he overstressed his powers. I don't remember exactly. Yeah.
Can I ask a question unrelated to this guy, but in relation to what Kat just asked?
Sure.
Okay, so the guy with the hand.
Tomura.
Do we ever find out what the hand is? Is
That's
it like
his show.
absorbing
That's his
power,
show.
or
In
it's
his
just
show.
In his show, it cancels.
okay?
He
Thank
told
you.
us that last time.
I did. In his show, you find out what it is.
All right.
So accelerator. I don't know, man. I don't know what you want from me here.
I need you to be my like Wikipedia article. You're the most educated on this franchise.
Yeah, literally.
Okay, so he's injured by a severe brain injury. I think it might have been during the fight.
Okay.
Yeah, he got like decked in the face 5 fucking times. He had like a super concussion after that.
Well, because every time he hit him, it made like a sound. Yeah, so I wasn't sure if it
That's
was
just him canceling his ability.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the noise it makes.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought it was okay.
I wasn't
'cause
sure
I
if
was
he was
a little
fucking him up
confused because
with
like
that.
the punches he was throwing, I'm like, surely you're getting some extra assistance somewhere because these punches are too swift and mighty. Like you're just a regular schmegular guy. Like what is going on
I
with
think
these
it was-
punches?
Just regular
But anyway,
punches.
so he gets injured, and he
Emphasized.
basically kind of like understands what he was doing was wrong, in a way.
Well, I also kind of
And-
feel bad for him because at first, like, he didn't really know. Like, he was just
He
told.
didn't- he didn't
a
think they were
meat sack
people.
too.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like a
Like-
meat sack too, though.
What?
Like in the way, like in the same way that like he's just being used to like achieve something for science.
He constantly
And then-
was always
but
like,
then
people
he-
are trying to use me. What do you want when they first approach him?
right, and then
Yeah.
he gets turned into like essentially like a like major sociopath, and that like he has no like.
He like slowly in that
Understanding, I
near
think?
the end of it kind of starts understanding that they are people. And
No, yeah,
realizes
he
it's a
literally-
But
problem.
then he
As he
also
was getting his
realizes
ass
that
kicked.
like
Yeah.
he doesn't realize. He also I think starts to realize his like participation in all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so-
he didn't know. Like, he literally, like,
They
was
literally told him it was not. They're not
Exactly.
human.
And that's
Right.
what he thought until all of a sudden he's piecing together that they're like, how many sisters? And he's like, what are you talking about? And then he was like, oh, shit. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
But so he wakes up, and the last Misika to be made is called Last Order, and it's basically like a child version of Misika. They didn't get through the accelerated part. She is the central
Would
hub.
that be who was sitting in the hospital with him, next to him? In this show,
Probably.
there was a little girl sitting next to him, and I was like, "Who
Then I
the
think so,
fuck
yeah.
is that?" And then I
Yeah.
was like,
And
okay.
she basically is the central nervous system of the Misika network. Everything runs through her. And his entire show is basically she is latched onto him and is like, I like you and you're cool and whatnot. And he's like, leave me the fuck alone. Like, I have too much trauma with you people. Go away. and so
I've slaughtered thousands of your relatives.
yeah, and he's
Literally
dealing
10,000
with
of
an
them.
innocent version that totally remembers all the things he did and
but
is
doesn't
like,
care.
yeah,
Oh,
and
so cute.
and so she's like the basically what's kind of like making him not be a dick,
Mm-hmm.
and he goes up against a group called Anti-Skill, which is trying to steal her to infect the Misika network.
I
and
thought
so he
anti-skill
is-
was like the police.
Yeah, I thought that's what they were. Also.
there's like there,
Anti skill.
I mean, kinda, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, because is it? Wait, but I have a question. Because in this one, they were saying that in the second arc with the little girl.
Oh, there's an evil organization that's taken root in anti-skill.
Okay, because this might answer my question then, because they were saying in the second arc with the little girl that like anti-skill can't do anything about it, and like the one lady that we've been following, like the one police officer, she
What
gets like
happened to her friend?
suspended to her. I don't know, maybe she's dead.
Where is she?
The one girl, she got like suspended for like trying to report on some shady shit. So my question would be like, is anti-skill like probably also shady or like in line with these shady underground?
Like
they're
the
being
underground,
yeah. And so basically his entire show is about fighting to get her back, protecting her, and like stopping the Misaka network from getting damaged, and him trying to overcome his now problem of
Question for anti-skill for
Okay.
this show.
Okay.
Who is the little girl that she's with? The anti-skill woman when she picks up
Pink
Yeah,
hair?
where she's like,
And she's like, I'm with a
didn't
friend
we see
right
her
now?
in
Pink hair
season
girl?
1?
Yeah, she's in season 1. She's a
She's
teacher.
like her friend. She just looks young, but she's like actually an adult, right?
Yeah. She's a
'Cause,
teacher.
I think
yes,
in
yes.
season 1 we see them like out drinking and stuff
Yes,
and like
okay,
going
you're
to like
right. Now
ramen
She
bar.
she is
for
the
that.
teacher for the makeup school that Sutton has to go to when she
Okay.
was doing with the
Oh,
Lover
yeah,
Opera
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And I was like, who
She's
the
a
hell
more
is
of a
this?
main character.
I
in-
had that same thought, but then I was like, oh wait, no, I feel like I remember her.
Okay.
She's
And then
she's more
where's-
of a main character in Magical Index.
Where's the anti-skill friend?
She's
I
dead.
Where?
remember.
Don't say that. Like, why would you? Where the fuck is she?
Wasn't she also fired?
No, she didn't show up in this one.
Yeah,
it was
she
just the
wasn't
one
even
with the
here.
really long
I
hair.
don't remember. I
Which
don't know.
also didn't notice her hair was even that long.
Oh my god,
in the
her
first
hair is
season.
literally to her knees.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. Why is my
Um,
hair not that long?
because every
but-
time it gets
oh.
long, you cut it off and then you
Also,
complain about it.
Also, I don't know if this is me just being dumb, but the girl's like dormitory like head lady or whatever you call it.
Head resident.
Is she also the one like in season 1 with like the kids?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why they are surprised that she has a nice side to her.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
'cause
they're
I-
and
'cause
Kuroko's
they-
trying to
and-
get her to get laid so she can
and-
chill the fuck out.
Right. And then in this season they see her at the bathhouse.
Yes.
Yes.
And then Shirai
Okay.
has to massage her legs.
Yes. I was like, because when they showed her, I was like, is that their dormitory lady
Yes.
or not?
Yeah.
I feel stupid.
Because
Yeah,
she
yeah.
it's Shirai's like, I finally get to be with Sissy naked, and then
Yeah, I
the
get to
teacher shows
finger
up
bang
and
in
she's
this
like,
bathhouse.
Literally, it's just disturbing.
Solely, woefully
God.
disappointed.
I can't
yeah.
with Shirai.
Yeah, Shirai is not the best. But then she is
But
sometimes.
you know
she was
so-
being a G for a lot of the first arc because she's covering for Mitsuko the entire
I
time.
was gonna say
time.
I'm actually because this is even gonna surprise me that I'm saying this. Like I feel like I kind of wish we had a little more of her in the first arc. In primarily like I felt like her powers would have been really useful
Yeah.
for like helping Misako throughout all this. So
But
like
I felt
but I
like,
understood why she was like kind of like icing her out. But I was like, oh my god, if you just told her like little white lies, half truths, even right?
Well, I also
and
don't
just,
know
like-
why Shirai didn't follow her. She was just like,
Right,
she's doing something sketchy, and then she's like, okay, bye.
I
And then
kept
she, like,
expecting her one night to just be fed
Yeah,
up and
and
be
then-
like, all right, let
Yeah,
me.
I don't know why
'cause
either.
Mike, I wanted to ask you this. I noticed this about halfway through. Do we ever learn about the limitations of her teleportation or like whatever
that
they
she-
call it?
Oh no.
It brings up in the first season, I think, that she can't. She can only go into where she can look.
Where she has to look, or she
She
has
has.
to,
She can only go as far as she can see.
Okay, so
Okay.
let's say,
But it's not
the
that she's seen
average. You're,
before.
No. Like I know. I'm pretty sure it's just it's not where she's been before. She has to
Because-
see.
Are you sure?
Because that's
Can you
why
Google
that's
it?
that's why like when she's like has to go into the distance, sometimes it just shows her teleporting into the sky. It shows her disappearing and reappearing
Can
multiple
you
times.
Google it? Because when she goes to go help with the traffic
right,
cam,
it seems like she's.
yeah, that didn't seem like something she could see. But they also didn't. Did they show her getting there immediately? They might not have. So maybe it would have
feel
been like
maybe
that
it
kind
did.
of thing.
But also the reason why I ask is this because if it's like within eye range, the maximum your eyes can see is 2 miles, right? So she can only go within 2 mile increments.
I think so. Yeah. Like she can only go within 2 mile increments.
because I was thinking that it was that she has to be able to visualize it, but that's,
what
Nightcrawler.
Yeah, no,
Not-
I had the same thought. I was like, maybe she just has like similar to Nightcrawler, and that
Yeah.
she has to either have already been there and know what it looks like, or like be like, this is relatively X away from where I am, and then you get fairly close to that range.
Yeah, so because then if she obviously she's been at that crossing before, then she can just teleport
Right, so
there,
that's what I was thinking, and then I was like, I don't remember if they ever explained the limitations of her powers.
Because also, when they're falling out of the sky, but again, it could just be that they're not showing it. They teleport far away when they're, like, falling out. Also, when they're falling down, Shirai's falling for, like, much longer than Misaka. There's no way she'd catch up to her just, like, so perfectly that they could just, like, teleport. Like, if they're falling at separate times,
well, I feel like if they're
not
falling,
gonna-
well, yes, they're going to be falling at separate rates because Shirai starts falling first, so that Misaka.
And it's not like it was just like a tiny bit before. Like, it was
No,
like a good amount.
but I feel like probably Shirai. In my mind, this is what would make sense: is that she's probably teleporting herself closer.
But she wasn't. You see her just falling.
We don't know that. In
I
between
saw
the
her.
In between the
I
cuts,
guess. I don't
like
know.
in my mind, that would make
That's-
the most
yes.
sense because I was thinking about this when Misaka started falling. I was like, all right, this bitch is just gonna die.
Yeah, this is
Like
their-
that's cool. Bye.
Yeah.
But of course, like they're not gonna do that to their main
Does it
character.
say?
Oh, what's the verdict?
There's a lot here.
It's a dense passage.
She can only do up to a certain amount of weight.
Certain like
Of like an
carrying
object,
someone?
of like
Oh,
objects
okay.
and stuff. She can only do it a certain distance from her. Being able to transport a total weight of 130 kilograms to a distance of 81.5 meters from herself. Not only is she able to teleport inside
what's 130
designated
kilograms?
targets,
Like
allowing her
300 pounds?
I don't know.
This is a lot of weight.
She can also change the resulting orientation, shown as teleporting people from standing up to laying down. One disadvantage of her power is that she has to concentrate on where
This
objects.
bitch can't even go a half a mile.
Well, it says an object, so it might not. Hers might be different. One
Oh.
disadvantage of her power is that she has to concentrate on where she is. She, the object, or the person she holds will be teleported to. While
She's
working
like
out while working out the spatial coordinates of jumping between 3rd and 11th dimensional space, she has to be doing math calculations throughout. And if she is not able to concentrate on where she is going to be doing the calculations to it, she will not be able to
Do
teleport.
they say that in the show?
Due to Shirai's teleportation only having a delay of up to a minimum of 0.4 seconds, she can be hit within that time frame. That's and blah 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 blah. So
And I assume if she's hit within that time frame, that force travels with her.
I think it would probably stop her from teleporting
Oh, okay.
because then it would disrupt her concentration.
You're probably right.
Would she get stuck in one of those dimensions?
I don't know. It doesn't say here.
I don't know.
Um,
Okay, but she's literally a Nightcrawler. Like, she
But
just
less.
has to. Yeah.
Because Nightcrawler, I don't think he has like a distance cap.
Yeah, no.
He can, like you said,
I think
he
it's
can go
it-
where
not-
you can
yeah, Nightcrawler
visualize.
is wherever he can see.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh well, actually, yeah,
No,
that he,
no,
that- yeah,
he
he,
can
he
visualize.
yeah,
It's
where he
not
can
even-
visualize. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So if he's like, if you tell him like go within this certain room and he knows what it looks like, he's like, all right, got you.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
like a more limited and also
Yeah, because like I think technically because it says here she can teleport things inside of people. So I think it's just like if she wanted to like
take
spawn-
out your heart.
Yeah, or like spawn. Remember when she spawns the glass in the middle of all the pillars?
Right.
So I guess it's like she has to figure out the math of where it would be inside of something
Oh.
to be able
What
to do
level
that.
is she? 4?
But I know like Nightcrawler can teleport things other than himself,
She also can do that.
but I guess the difference is he has to be holding it.
Yeah,
He
she can
can't,
just she can
like-
just touch something and it'll teleport
Right.
away.
I
Yeah.
don't think Nightcrawler can't do that. He has
But
to
she
be
can't even-
physically.
It's
Yeah,
like-
like
it's like the
she
tiniest
can
of a
touch
mile.
somebody and make them on their ass.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
they could be standing and like it literally says, and then it could be upside down and land on their head.
Right.
So
Right.
she can teleport anything
I think Nightcrawler can only teleport
Himself.
himself,
Yeah.
unless he's touching
along
them,
with
then
other
he-
people.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
He can't just make something teleport.
Yes.
Right.
Why were we talking about her?
Because we were thinking about the
Oh, right,
limitations
yeah.
of her powers.
But yeah, so like, and either way, I think that like for the first part.
I have a question.
Yeah. Okay.
The blonde girl at the beginning.
yeah, that bitch who
Yes.
just shows up,
The other
disappears,
se-
and
the
then
other
shows up
season-
again in the
the
last
other-
episode.
What's up
the
with
other
that?
level 5. She She's like a main character in the third.
Okay.
So they're just
like
setting her up.
teasing.
Yeah, they're just being like, hey, she's here.
I had the same feeling. I like in the first episode, I think they introduced it. I'm like, okay, cool. There's gonna be some rivalry. We're gonna get some like cool dogfight going on, and then she disappears. And then in the last episode, we get like a panning shot of her. I was like, where the fuck did this bitch come from?
Wait,
she helps Misaka because Misaka swallows her pride and asks for help.
What's the little girl's name?
Which one?
That was
the first one.
What?
The blonde little girl.
February?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
When she was saying my big sister, I really thought it was going to be that bitch because they've got the blonde hair. She hasn't been in the whole fucking season. I was like, it must be this. It's like her hair, like whatever.
I love February. February's adorable.
Yeah. I was like, this is where she comes up. And then when it didn't and just showed a different, like, little clone, I was
hope those lollipops are sugar free, or else like this bitch is not gonna have any teeth.
I don't think that matters.
I think they're purely medicine.
Yeah.
Because everybody said they tasted awful.
Yeah.
They said it was such a strong flavor, but they never actually described what that flavor was.
Yeah, but it all like made them gag, so I'm gonna guess not a great flavor.
Probably not, but I was just curious.
And then, but yeah, February and Johnny, right?
Yeah, which I hated that it looked like Janie, but
oh
was
my god,
Johnny.
No, that was
really
bothering me.
But but February is adorable, and and her little maid outfits and
that
like
little pink Gekida that's always on her finger.
And she's just like, all right, how about I give you 10 Gekida? And she's like, no. It's just like, it's just the utter defeat. She's like, why did I have to give her the one that I only had one of? And again, I think going back again to like the Misakas, I love the way they talk.
Yeah, me too.
The like Misaka says like slyly trying to be underhanded in her tone. Like I love the way they talk. It is super fun. And again, I think they nailed the sibling dynamic like immediately. Like me and Sage were talking a little bit before this, and it was like before the Misaka runs into one of her clones, it's like all this like kind of like shady background shit of like, oh, what's it gonna be like? What's
and
gonna
this
happen
like
when they finally
suspense of
meet?
like how is she gonna react to like seeing her clone?
And they meet, and it's immediate like sibling, like little sister, older sister, like
because they see each other, and the Misaka clone, instead of being like, hey, you're the original, or like, oh, I made from you, she's like, that cat's stuck in that tree, will you help me? And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Doesn't acknowledge her at all.
Literally, like it's just like, you're just gonna let it die, like you're really not gonna
are you gonna be like, that person right now?
Yeah, she's like, okay, fine. Like,
but cats hate me, like why don't we just leave it alone? Like, wow, you're really just gonna let this cat die, huh?
That cat is gonna starve to death and perish up there.
Miska says, trying to make you feel guilty.
Yeah.
And she's like, fine, gets up close to it and jumps away, but then like it lands on her, and she's like, I don't know. It's like they nail the sibling shit immediately, and like
and then
her
with like
making
the ice
fun
creams,
the ice cream, and her making fun of Misaka's tastes and stuff, and like
she's like, well, give it back, and she's like, no,
it's mine.
And really like so like they're different people. Like even though they're the same,
right?
And then like the thing with like, you know, none of them are wearing the fucking shorts underneath, and they don't give a fuck. And she's like, "What are you doing? Like, stop!" Like, and she's like, "I don't know why this matters. Who cares?"
When that doctor is like, "Can we make them like care about modesty, like just a little bit?" And they're like, "No."
Yeah, like, why would that matter?
It's just like something.
Shinobu is also like. I think a really well-written character. Like she's got some shit going on, and she's like, but like she's trying to like constantly like stop these people, even though she has to be the bad guy.
It's funny because I feel like certain aspects of the show, like I wish we had more time to develop certain things, like Shinobu, and then like the like underground girl squad.
Yeah, I liked them. I wish there was more.
Yeah, I really like them. I love their dynamic.
The leader, I just know Anthony would say she was mommy.
Absolutely.
Like,
yeah,
I just
absolute
know
MILF energy.
Meltdown, she's MILF like, energy entirely.
MILF energy.
That would absolutely be his favorite. The second she like came on, I was like, Anthony would love her.
And also the one that can track, who just likes floating in a pool dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I love how like later on she's like, I swam too much. I'm like, girl, you didn't go anywhere.
I just wish that there was more of the, but like exactly the point of why I kind of felt like it was kind of not paced weird, I guess, but like too much of one and like not enough of
But
other.
I
I
think-
wish there was more Shinobu. I wish there was more of like the girl gang. Like
I
stuff
feel like
that.
in part it's almost the trappings of like you have this interesting storyline that you have to obviously get through, but then you have all these interesting side characters, and you're like, yes, they're interesting, but we do have to like keep chugging forward, and we're like obligated to keep you on track with the main character and like her point of view. But then you have these like really interesting side characters that you're like, no, just give
But that's
me
why
that.
that's
Maybe
why
we'll
like
make a certain scientific meltdowner.
Yeah.
but that's why like I really like these like 3 congruent shows, because like it's just like every side character for the most part is really interesting, and like you can just keep watching these shows to get more of like the characters you kind of care about, and like
Right.
and the ones that you see little hints of in Railgun are probably appear much more in Index and like and stuff like that. And
Did sorry to cut you off, but did we ever see what's her the one with the fan, her little posse of those 2 girls? Was that the first time we saw what their powers were?
no,
when
we
they
saw
were
that
doing-
in the first
We
season.
did. I just
We
didn't remember
because
what
we
they
know
did.
that they're in the swim club and they had like water-based powers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We knew
She
what
talks
we
at the
knew. Yeah,
pool.
they talk about it. I don't know if we ever see them using it, but they talk about it.
The one that she's like holding the other girl and they're using their powers together. I was like, girlfriends, adorable.
Yeah, it was
They're
adorable.
dating.
Yeah,
They're absolutely
for
yeah.
sure.
They're absolutely dating.
Yeah.
Because
Congo
it-
is just the third wheel.
Yeah.
yeah. What is it? Because one can create water and the other can manipulate it.
Yeah.
I
Or-
think so.
And so that's why like they were in tandem, like one's being
Yeah.
able to surf on it while the other one's making
And
it.
they're like, gotta catch aggro and then take them. I'm like, all right, good job. Like, works.
Yeah, like I don't know. I think besides like the middling part of between the first 2/3 and the last third are like is kind of but
Right.
like it just kind of slams on the brakes. But I think the end and the entirety of like the sisters arc are great. I think I really like the sisters arc. I like how it randomly gets just kind of dark. I like that she's just kind of slowly spiraling because she just can't handle all of this shit going on, but she's like trying to fix it anyway. And like she is, once she gets to that bridge and Tomura's like, you can't do this. And she's like, what are you going to do? You going to stop me? And she starts trying to like basically kill him to prove a point. And he just like keeps batting it away. He's like, you're not going to stop me. I'm going to deck you and I'm going to help him. Or like,
no,
I'm
he's
gonna...
not even batting away. He's just letting himself
Oh, right. Yeah,
get
no,
hit.
that's right. Yeah, you're right.
Because he's like, I'm not going to fight you, but I'm also not leaving.
Yeah, you're right. But it's just like, you can't even stop me. How are you going to stop him?
Right.
And so like, I love how well it's written of her like descent into like madness, trying to deal with the incredibly fucked up shit that is happening to people that look exactly like her.
Right.
And that she didn't even find out about this until 10,000 clones had already died.
Yeah.
And like she just has 10,000 sisters that are fucking dead already. Like, and she never even thought about it. She never cared, like whatever. And I think, I don't know. I think it's very well written. I think it's paced really well. I like how much she's like on the back foot, and then like every time you see the like level 6 shift people,
Right.
like once it goes to the like head guy, he's never really that concerned that she keeps doing this shit. He's like, whatever, we've still got other bases, like we got other plans, it's fine. And like she's having this mental breakdown while you keep seeing this executive just being like,
It's fine.
nah,
Yeah.
whatever. And like I really like that because it's just like, this is a 14-year-old child watching herself be murdered,
Trying her best.
yeah, and like just not knowing how to process any of it. And she's willing to just be like, well, if I die, that should stop it.
Right.
Like,
And I like that he's like, no, what are you, fucking stupid? That's not going to do shit.
yeah, like they'll just readjust. They'll get new stuff. And she's like, yeah, but like the satellite's down. Like they can't readjust their things. And he's like, it still won't change anything.
Right.
And I don't know. I really like it. I like the fight. I like how Accelerator's like slowly over the course of the fight. Like I can totally understand if forever you're like, no, Accelerator is a monster. He's an awful person. Like, sure. But in terms of like watching it as an anime side, you're like, he never thought of them as real people. But like, I love that during the fight, he is slowly coming to terms with the fact that they do have emotions and kind of are people,
Right.
and the fact that that Misaka and Tomura are fighting for the fact that like for these objects that like don't matter, it shows that like they must have some kind of capacity of giving a shit.
Right.
And he slowly like realizes his error and then finally gets knocked, like taken down, and realizes he was completely wrong, and spends his entire next arc or two or whatever, I don't know exactly how much, but like just trying to right that wrong by protecting the last one that could lead to, if something happened to Last Order, could kill all of the sisters.
Right.
And so his whole deal is just protecting her from then on. And I don't know. I like how much character writing and interactions happen in that first like 2/3. I think it's all really tightly written and handled very well, that all these characters feel very complex and well motivated. And Accelerator for a while there is just dude who likes to fucking kill people, because why not? He gets to finally use his powers. Who gives a shit?
Right.
And I also like the motivation they give him for why he even started it, which was he wants people to fucking leave him alone forever, because everybody's always challenged him, even though he's the number one. He just wants to be left alone. And like there's that scene where he's like a kid and they were like rolling up fucking tanks to him, and like his hair is white because the fucking sun doesn't reach him because the vectors phase it out. Like it's, I don't know. I think it's all really interesting, even though he's also really fucked up. Like for a while when he fucking makes a cut in her and then puts his finger into the fucking hole and is like, I wonder what happens if I reverse the blood flow in you. And you just watch Amisaka explode and you're like, Jesus Christ. Like I think that like it's fucked up, but you realize he doesn't realize it's a thing, and you know why he's doing this in the first place, and then you see how he gets to the point of realizing that they are people and that he has done a horrific thing, and why he then tries to be better about it after. And I don't know. I think it's all very well written and handled.
Do they move him down the list when he's crippled? He stays at number one?
Nope. People try to keep challenging him. They're like, you're crippled. You can't fucking do shit. Well, you're not the level 1 anymore. And he's like, yeah, I want to bet. But he is very much the way, when I originally watched it was back when I thought Superman was a boring character.
Right.
And so I used to say that I was like, this is Superman done well, which was never true. It's not right at all. Superman's great. But that like, basically he can do anything he wants, and now he can't, and he is on a time limit by a fucking battery that is powered by the things he was killing. And like that is now he can only be Superman for like 5 minutes. Figure out how to defeat another level 5 and a giant army in that time, or you're fucked.
It's like All Might. Like,
yeah.
you can turn it on, but you have an extremely limited time frame.
And that's why like I really like a certain scientific accelerator. Like I think it's handled very well, and I like how his character growth continues and his interactions with Last Order, which is just child Misaka. Also, she I said this Sage, but she talks instead of Misaka says, it's Misaka. She doubles it up, and it's also adorable. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I was talking the entire time for the last like 10 minutes.
That's okay.
But
you seem very excited. I didn't want to stop you.
I don't know. I think it's very well written and handled, and I like it a lot. And I was hoping Kat would like it more, but I guess not.
I didn't dislike it.
Yeah, but that's what you said for the first season.
I didn't. So
I mean, I guess
that's better than disliking
Yeah,
it.
it's
There's
true.
lots of shows I dislike.
True. Would you ever watch Accelerator on your own, or would you have to be told to watch it?
Probably have to be told, but I'd probably watch the other one.
Magical Index? Magical Index, at least for the first season, you can feel that it's older because it came out in like the early aughts.
But I like him and Sun. They're my two favorite characters.
Sutton is great, and I like Uehara just for her voice. And
She's so cute.
She's very cute, and I love the little gag when Sodden flips her skirt, and you just get the simple drawn anime effect of her just being like like pounding on her chest.
Yeah.
I like that a lot too.
When they're in the freaking robot, and then sun is moved below, so she can just see right up her skirt.
She's like, you got this.
yeah.
Yeah, she's like, wow, you're really fired up today.
Yeah. It's just like, just the yell.
Yeah.
Every time.
All right, well, I guess we could do final thoughts. So,
Yeah.
Sage.
Overall, I feel like I definitely like this better than season 1, even though I feel like I have no memory of season 1. But this felt definitely much more cohesive. There was more of like a through line for it, which I like. I would say, I don't know, the last third wasn't really for me. Like, the pacing felt like too quick, mainly because I liked the slow build up for the first 2/3 more, and how things played out there. But yeah, overall pretty good. I'll give it like a 7.
I think that's what you gave the first one.
I will recommend it. I don't know what I gave the first one, but
I think you gave it a 7.
all right, well, I'm giving this a 7 too, because the last third just kind of did not stick the landing.
So I'm the opposite. I liked the last part. I felt like the last part actually gave me extra for liking it. Just because I thought it was all just very cute. Like, there was obviously like the looming bad guys and everything, but there was just so many cute scenes that I feel like it.
Yeah, Ida plays a good bad guy.
Yeah.
Just the voice of Ida.
Well, Ida's a bad guy in
A lot of things. He's the bad guy a lot of times.
Yeah, he's but he's
actually,
also.
I can only think of him being a good guy
No,
in My Hero.
I was just gonna say that, and then I was like, no, actually, I can think of him as good guys, so I guess not. But Ida is a bad guy for like a little bit of time in My Hero.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
Even though I don't remember the first season, with the brief part that you told me and jogged my memory, I do think I liked this one better. Even though I have problems with it, I still think that I like it better. And like, I'm just nitpicking. Like, it's not like the whole time I was dreading it or I was like, I hate this. Like, the whole point is to talk about it. So those aren't enough things. Like, I still watch My Hero, even though, you know, I kind of have an issue with that. Like, it's not enough to, I mean, not that I would stop watching because we're watching it for Anime Club. I'm not Kieran, but, you know, it wouldn't have. I probably would have just, like, stuck with it anyways. So I do think that I liked this one better. I think I gave the last one a 7, so I'll give this one an 8.
I'll take it.
No. So, and I do recommend it.
All right. I, as you could tell, like this a lot, but I would also give it an 8. I think, like, I gave it the first as the first season, even though I think it's stronger. I actually do think, like, I don't know, it's an 8 or a 9, but like, I'm gonna stick with an 8 for right now. Because like, I think it's the first part is so great. But then, like, it does kind of dwindle at the end, where I, at least based on looking at my rankings for each season 3 I have as a 9, which I think is probably just because it's consistently strong. But I think everything about, like, especially the first part is just really tightly written and really interesting. And, like, you finally get to see, like, how fucked up the city can be, even though it's touted as being this, like, perfect utopia of like science and better than everywhere else, and like just seeing, and it introduces a lot to the world, like all the different like the underground, the other level 5s, and the sisters, and just how all that stuff affects everything. And I don't know, I like it a lot. I would give this an 8, and I definitely obviously would recommend it. And yeah, here's group score.
Yay.
And Sage, it is now your pick.
Yeah, we're going to watch One Punch Man because I have yet to watch it and I'm late on every trend.
How long is it?
Okay, 12.
12 episodes.
Okay.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good.
I've heard, so we're going to find out.
It's very good, so.
I am extremely late to the trend.
I've never
I don't
seen
know
it.
if you'll like
great.
it, but
No, I have already been told by people that
You won't like it?
No,
I
but it's
don't
12
know, but
episodes,
it's like
so whatever.
hype.
it's
I'll
hype,
be
but she doesn't
fine.
give a shit about hype.
Yeah.
But you like My Hero. My
But,
Hero is like
but I
90% hype.
But I don't like My Hero for the hype. I like My Hero for the characters.
And as much as the characters are fun in One Piece, in One Punch, Man,
Actually, I'm suggesting One Piece. We have to watch 1,000 episodes, guys.
We're gonna
You got
get there
5
eventually.
weeks.
Yeah.
So we all just run out of shows. So it's just a new arc of One Piece.
a new arc.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! At some point, the arcs would be like 200 episodes.
Oh, God.
each time.
Lord.
Figured there were like 24.
What if you just watched you just watched at like 1.5 speed?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We already had this
Hacks.
whole bit. And we
Yeah.
said that we would
Yeah.
watch up to the 31st episode because Kat didn't
Oh,
want
I
to watch
forgot.
all the way up
I
to.
forgot. Should I suggest
No.
that instead?
No, let's watch the
Because Kat
12
didn't want to
episode
watch
show.
the extra 12 episodes to finish the Arlong Park arc. She only wanted to get to the front of it and see if she would like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, One Punch Man's good. Do we need a synopsis for One Punch Man?
I don't. Can you even
Isn't it in the title?
like?
Yeah, it's basically a gag manga written by the mangaka One. He started drawing it as a webtoon, basically,
Right.
like a webcomic. And he could not draw at all. It's very rough. But the whole point of why it's so impressive is that he couldn't draw, but decided to do it anyway, and wrote a really good story, and a lot of people latched onto it. And then one of the best mangakas
Yeah, it got
artists in
adapted,
the
right?
game,
Right.
Murata, was like, "Hey man,
I got you, boo.
I want to draw One Piece for you, or One Punch Man."
Stop saying
I know you
Yeah.
keep confusing me
Yeah.
by saying One Piece.
Well, I want to draw One Punch Man for you in manga form, and he's like,
Hell yeah.
yeah. And it is some of the most gorgeous shit you have ever seen in your fucking life. And it's hilarious because, like, One has gotten way better at drawing. It's actually really cool to see his because he still makes the
Progression.
he still makes the webcomic.
Mm-hmm.
Is that everything the manga is based off of, the webcomic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything is a 1-for-1.
Gotcha.
Which is really funny because you can see what
Right.
he drew versus like what Murata drew.
That's really funny.
And again, it's like the greatest, like one of the greatest artists in manga game
But
versus
I
a
kinda-
dude who can't really
I
draw.
kind of love that though.
Yeah, it's I would recommend the One Punch Man manga to anybody. It is
Once I finish
gorgeous.
Haikyuu and One Piece, I'll read One Punch Man.
Oh. So never.
Yeah, so never.
We'll die before then.
So
Oh
never.
my God.
I'm almost at
We need-
chapter 200 of Haikyuu, okay?
We need a second COVID so you can just
So I can
sit there.
pump
Yeah,
through it?
be Colin.
Yeah, that was how I got through a lot of it too. But like I don't know, it's like just the amount of shit that goes on is rad. And I'm
How many
trying to
seasons
find-
are there?
So there is going to be a third, which we think is going to be by Mappa, but we don't know for a fact yet.
They're still floating studios?
I don't know exactly.
Hasn't this been like going on for a while?
Well, it wasn't even sure if it was like this is just like the fucking cover page,
Yeah.
and that's how it entirely looks the entire time.
It looks like Cell.
Kinda.
Aren't you impressed that I even know Cell?
Sure. Yeah, I'll take that. But it's just like I don't know. And the best part about the manga itself too is that he still does some of the gag drawings.
Yeah, I heard about
Like
that.
so you get that really quality shit and then like you get a one-line sketch of a character just being like, "Huh?" Like
You get like the equivalent of a doodle.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's just really funny. And the first season is done by basically like I'm forgetting the studio. I think it's Bones, but no, it might not be Bones. I don't remember. Regardless, so basically
could tell you.
Might be Madhouse,
Hold on, I can tell you.
Just say all of
Just
them.
keep talking.
but
One of them will be
yeah.
right.
So basically, the director, who I am forgetting his name of, but he's a very famous anime director, he basically handpicked the entire team to make the show because he was really passionate about the project. And so it is like some of the best animation you've seen ever. And then
Season 1 was in fact Madhouse.
Okay,
Season
yeah.
2 is JC Staff.
yeah, so Madhouse was a handpicked studio to work on it, or handpicked crew, and which is why it's super good. And then
It's like movie quality.
yeah, and then it took a really long time for whatever reason to get season 2 greenlit. So him and his team went to go work on something else, and then they were like, "Hey, season 2 is greenlit," and they're like, "Well, we're working on something. Can you give us some more time?" And they were like, No,
No.
fuck you.
Oh my
So
God.
they were like, hey, JC staff, here's not a lot of money, here's not a lot of time, make it.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay. And then everybody hated it. Well, everybody hated the animation. Story, still great. But it doesn't look great.
But I feel like that's so unfair to like.
Everybody was shitting on JC staff. You guys just watched 2 seasons of a show made by JC staff.
Yeah, but
they can make pretty shit.
That's what I was gonna say. I feel like it's unfair to shit on JC staff because if they had the budget and the time, they could have made it way better. But
Boy, couldn't they for that though?
yeah, no.
So
but also when you're comparing it to like
the best team
like
you
$1 million budget
Well, it's not even $1 million budget. It's just
and the best creative team,
handpicked
like
best
I
creative
don't think
team
that's
in the
a
game.
fair comparison. That's like, oh, here's an indie film. They had like $10 to make this movie, and here's like a Christopher Nolan film.
Yeah, and
compare the two in quality.
And then you got his other project, Mob Psycho, which was done by Bones for all 3 seasons.
yeah,
and
which also looks really good.
Consistently looked great. Is also incredible. Cried a few times. His stories are really good.
I need to watch that as well.
Mob Psycho is
Your
incredible.
next one.
Next one, guys.
Each season is 12 episodes.
Yeah, I can pump through that
Yeah.
in like 6 months.
Well, yeah, if you recommend all 3, yeah.
You only have to wait 3 months to be able to then
true.
suggest it.
Yeah, but all right. Hey, One Punch Man, not One Piece.
Not
Punch Man.
One Piece.
The first season of One Punch Man, you have the 5 weeks to watch it, and I'm interested to see how Kat has her opinions on that show.
It's okay. I can just watch it in a day. So
I feel like if
no
you
matter
turn your
what, like
I
it
feel
will
like
be fun.
I feel like maybe you would appreciate it enough for like the spectacle and like the art of
the
it
gags.
and like
the
the
gags,
quality
yeah,
of the
gags,
animation.
and I think at the very least, hopefully you at least appreciate the insane quality of the animation.
That's what I just said.
It's
Word
true.
for word,
Yeah,
I
but
just
Sage.
said that.
Never mind, I'm not gonna finish my sentence. Hey,
You say because you're a woman.
I
He
was-
absolutely was gonna say, I saw, because you're a woman in his eyes.
I know.
I saw the text in his eyes.
I was gonna say,
like a computer, like
literally.
scrolling across.
You know,
And then I was
people
like,
on those sunglasses.
Yeah.
I was gonna make the joke, and then I was like, I shouldn't make the joke.
I
It's
saw
okay.
it in your eye.
We know.
We know.
We know Mike hates women. It's fine.
Sure. That's what. Yeah, that was where the joke
No,
was
he's
coming from. but then
afraid
I was
of
like, I don't-
women. He
yeah.
doesn't hate them.
That's why he hates them.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I'm on a podcast with 2 women. It's like
It's to
You're
help his
building up your
image.
tolerance.
Yeah, it's to
Oh.
build up the tolerance.
I was gonna say it's to show
Shock
that-
therapy.
Feel like
Immersion therapy.
Yeah, immersion therapy. That was the word I was looking for.
I got you.
I can't hate women. I'm on a podcast with 2 of them.
Anyway, hey, thanks for watching this week's Anime Club and Vaguely Anime Podcast
This month's
episode.
anime club.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Yeah. What did I
You said
say?
this week.
This
Whatever.
because we do a new one every week.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Oh my god.
If we did like 12 episodes, I feel like that would make more sense. But no.
I guess because you just got to dedicate one day to
Yeah,
it.
basically.
Mm.
I watched the entirety of
We
Black
could do-
Lagoon in basically.
Can we
a day.
have this outro be an outro?
Wait, I was gonna say for 1 month we could do just weekly anime clubs, 12 episodes, and then just pump some content.
We could. I mean, I guess if you want to do that.
Sage doesn't want to do that. End
That's
it.
fine.
And I saw
Anyway,
hatred
hey,
in her
thanks.
eyes. End it.
You saw the I hate women in her eyes.
I did.
Famous women hater Sage.
That's me.
Anyway, thanks for watching this week's episode of the Vaguely Anime Podcast. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you thought of this season and if we were wrong or right. Yeah, we will see you guys next week. Oh, don't forget to check out Kat at Kat the Moonstar on Twitch.
Yes.
Have you even streamed any?
Yeah.
recently?
Yes,
All right,
I
cool.
have. I've
Proud of you.
streamed 3 times in the past 2 weeks.
Proud of you.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, and we'll see you guys next week for whatever the fuck we talk about.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.